top 5. During his own era, there were far better players all the time. Kobe ran off Shaquille O'Neal. They could have established one of the greatest dynasties in sports history, but his narcissism and selfishness ran Shaq out. And then he gets to this last night. Oh, the thing I'm most proud of are the down years. The years after I ran Shaq out of town and the franchise was a joke. That's what I'm most proud of because we didn't run. Now, I did go into every offseason threatening to leave the franchise. I did bully Phil Jackson and make him uncomfortable, one of the greatest coaches of all time, write a book and talk about what an idiot I was. And we're all out celebrating this. Oh, Kobe's the great. That game last night was hot garbage. Here, let me say it this way. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. And so Michael Jordan should be very flattered at Kobe's 20-year career. The imitation is often a sign of fraudulence. Kobe Bryant, the most fraudulent superstar celebrity athlete we have ever seen. I heard Colin talk yesterday about the end of an era with Kobe and analogizing him to Jordan and those guys from that era that really competed, weren't best friends with all the other players around the league. And some that is all true. But Kobe Bryant's imitation of Michael Jordan it's sheep activity. America used to be about, and what we used to celebrate, are the people that strayed from the path and did their own thing. Yes, you had your heroes. Yes, you took some of your cues from your heroes. But you didn't conduct a 20-year imitation of someone.
Man, makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? That's Jason Whitlock. He was sitting in for Colin Cowherd earlier this week. The man makes a lot of sense. I think the man is absolutely correct. Absolutely. A 20-year imitation of Jordan, and everybody's like, oh, good answer. No, wrong answer, man. Wrong answer. I mean, basketball's a team sport, so why is he getting all this applause for being the greatest gunner? Oh, he took 60 shots. That's not basketball. I'm telling you, we are living in the last days of common sense. I mean, on the same night that the Golden State Warriors showed everybody the power of team, T-E-A-M. There's no K in team. There's no I in team. There's no B in team. There's no O in team. Kobe. There's none of that. Then I'm supposed to give this man props because he took 50 shots to score 60 points. Hell no. It was whack. In a season in which the team has no chance whatsoever of making the playoffs. I just don't understand people these days. Sports fans, this is why most sports fans, and I guess most people in general, but I say sports fans are just unsatisfied because their standards are too low. I don't care if it's his last game. They should have got the Sandman out there. And the Sandman with his big old cane with a little hook in it and grab him off the basketball court so these young ballers can create something for Laker fans. I'm not really a Laker fan like that. Really, I'm not a fan of any particular team. Okay? If you're from Ohio, if you're from Cincinnati, I'm behind you. I'm more into individual personalities. I like multiple players from multiple teams. Never did I like Kobe. He's a gunner. People keep saying, oh, he's the best since Jordan. No, the hell he isn't. No, he isn't. LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal. Speaking of which, anybody got a chance to watch the 30 for 30 last night? When the Magic stopped, the inside behind-the-scenes story between, the evolution of the Magic franchise. Oh, man, that was some good sports history right there. I tell you, Penny Hardaway was one of my favorite players of all time. The guy was just so humble. He just did his job. He was the second coming of Magic before all the injuries and things like that. And that was back when NBA ballers was getting like $100 million contracts. How could the Orlando Magic let Shaquille O'Neal in his prime go? And it's been so long ago that you forget that there was a time when Shaquille was like 7'1", 2", whatever the hell he is, and he was athletic. That man was athletic. Now, I just hate it when sports fans or like sports stars retire and get all fat and bloated. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you were the ultimate model of machismo and being in shape, and now 5 years later, you're on your deathbed. Shaq needs to lose weight. Slim down, Shaq. It's be a horrible day when you hear about Shaq with kidney failure. Do something about it now, man. But that was very, very interesting. And essentially, the Orlando Magic, they let Shaq go because they underestimated, number one, his impact. And number two, they were a new franchise. Perhaps they didn't really have the skills or the experience necessary in dealing with a superstar. But we know what happened. He left Orlando, went to the Lakers, boom, dynasty. Man, listen, LeBron James has one-man carried teams to the finals. Kobe never did that. He's always had Hall of Fame type of talent around him. Always have had that. Jason Whitlock is absolutely correct. What's up, Angela? Good morning to you. Good morning, Gwenda. Tracy says, we ain't going nowhere. I appreciate you, Tracy. Adisa writes, shout out, Nate from Texas. Hey, what's going on, Adisa? Jerica writes, good morning. Eric writes, pastor of the Trump rally is my Gilligan of the week. Oh, really? Yeah, was that Pastor Mark Burns, I believe it is? That guy was hyped up. He was hyped. You mean this guy?
Trump. I want everybody to know right now on RSBN TV, Donald Trump is watching you live right now.
Donald Trump is watching you live right now. I'm telling you, that man missed his calling. He should be a ring announcer for television wrestling. He missed his calling. Someone writes, I think this is Tracy, she writes, Gilligan of the Week is still AB checking in from the JC. Man, Tracy, leave that man alone. He had a few bumps here. Who is the Gilligan of the Week? Good morning, Deanna. Good morning, Daryl. Good to see you. Daryl writes, so they created the ratings-ing monster, so he should be charged with complicity to the murder. I'm not even sure if you could charge a man like that. And I'm not really sure if it's fair to blame everyone at the University of Cincinnati. I mean, it's a big university. You got people on multiple levels doing multiple jobs. I know if I worked at the University of Cincinnati, I don't want you to blame me for it. Okay? What I'm reading right now is it falls squarely back to Mr. Jason Goodrich. Now, did higher-ups instruct him? I'm sure they did have some conversations about, making sure the university students were going to be, protected. I understand that. But his application of that is what indirectly kind of led, to this hyper mentality. Got to keep him safe. Got to keep him safe. Got to break a few eggs to create an omelet. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. It really is. Very sad situation because, just hearkening back to that video, it never had to go down like that. And now you got two families' lives who have been, interacted and destroyed. Number one, that of Sandra Bowles. But I'm sure that Mr. Tensing has a family as well. If that matters to you, needs to be said. It's horrible. Ms. D writes, the Gilligan of the Week is the false prophet campaigning for Trump. Brent writes, I'm not surprised by that 400% increase. Those other cops should be fired for collusion. I'm not sure if they ever will be. At this point, it looks like it's pretty much over. We'll just have to monitor it as it moves forward, as we move forward as a community. Rhonda writes, good morning. Tanika writes, good morning. Deanna writes, I wonder if the directive to make stops beyond UC borders came from higher up. Well, I'm sure they had conversations about it. But my question is, why, if that was true, then why is it coming out that the former UCPD chief, Mr. Jason Goodrich, may have been untruthful when he was dealing and talking with investigators? Why lie? Cruther writes, made it, brown skin checking in. It's Friday. I think I got that right. There's a lot of Y's there. Keena writes, I'm here. Good to see you, Keena. Dale writes, Jason Whitlock is telling the truth to the 100 power. Yes, he is. It says something about our culture that here we are talking about a team sport. I mean, Kobe Bryant is a dinosaur, the ISO dinosaur. Isosaurus. Kobe Isosaurus. I mean, the days of isolating one man on the wing like Jordan, he beats his man down, the defense collapse, they kick it out to a Steve Kerr type, those are the old days. Look at what the Golden State Warriors are doing. Look at the San Antonio Spurs if you're an NBA fan. That is the future. That's the present. The future is now. Again, what's making Golden State so powerful is not their three-point prowess. It's not that. It's the fact that the whole team is athletic. Everyone can D you up. Everyone can ball handle. Everyone is out there making plays. Okay, that's the new NBA, where every single player, even your big man, is getting assists, rebounds. Even your big man is hitting J's. Okay, that's the new NBA. So why are we giving props to this dude that basically, as Jason Whitlock put it, destroyed the franchise? No free agents want to go there and work with the man. Because who wants to go play for a team and know you're never going to get the ball? Kobe, Black Hole, Bryant. Okay, it all goes in. It's like a vacuum. Sucks everything in. Kobe, Isosaurus. A dinosaur. Jason Whitlock's 100% correct. I don't care if he scored 1 billion points. So what? You're not going to the playoffs. So what? So when the next young ball player hits the scene and he's a gunner like Kobe and the team never goes anywhere, but he's celebrating because he scored 60 points in a game, you know what the sports, the jockocracy is going to say, the sports media, you know what they're going to say? Calm down, young fella. You're not going to the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Okay, well, same thing with Kobe. It's ridiculous. Kelly Rice, good morning. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. Mike Rice, I usually don't like Whitlock, but he was on point on this one. Exactly. Gwenda writes, the black man was not playing last night when it came to asking questions, and he was determined to ask the questions. The crowd has so much energy, and the burn was funny. I do not care for Hillary at all, but she must have been taking extra prepping. Bernie, I am rooting for the underdog. Yeah, it was deep last night. I thought it was a very lively debate. Very lively debate. If you missed it, well, you know I got clips for you. Check this out.
Sanders. In the last week, you've raised questions about Secretary Clinton's qualifications to be president. You said that something is clearly lacking in terms of her judgment, and you accused her of having a credibility gap. So let me ask you, do you believe that Secretary Clinton has the judgment to be president?
Well, I've known Secretary Clinton, how long? 25 years. We worked together in the Senate, and I said that in response to the kind of attacks we were getting from the Clinton campaign. Washington Post headline says Clinton campaign says Sanders is unqualified, and that's what the surrogates were saying. Does Secretary Clinton have the experience and the intelligence to be a president? Of course she does. But I do question.
You can't deny that. You cannot deny that, even if you're not a Hillary supporter.
I question a judgment which voted for the war in Iraq. The worst foreign policy blunder in the history of this country, voted for virtually every disastrous trade agreement, which cost us millions of decent-paying jobs, and I question her judgment about running super PACs, which are collecting tens of millions of dollars from special interests, including $15 million from Wall Street. I don't believe that is the kind of judgment we need to be the kind of president we need.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, it is true that now that the spotlight is here in New York, some things have been said, and Senator Sanders did call me unqualified. I've been called a lot of things in my life. That was a first. And then he did say that he had to question my judgment. Well, the people of New York voted for me twice to be their senator from New York.
Tell him, Hillary.
And President Obama trusted my judgment enough to ask me to be Secretary of State for the United States.
True. Very true. Let's be real.
Look, we have disagreements on policy. There's no doubt about it. But if you go and read, which I hope all of you will before Tuesday, Senator Sanders' long interview with the New York Daily News, talk about judgment and talk about the kinds of problems he had answering questions about even his core issue, breaking up the banks. When asked he could not explain how that would be done.